Crispy. Can y'all hear the crispiness? Mmm. Mmm. Did you know that most fast food restaurant chicken nuggets contain extra ingredients not necessarily good for us? You know, you think when your kids, your grandkids, or even ourselves sometimes, we say, oh, we'll just drive through and we'll get a few chicken nuggets and we'll be good to go. It's the easiest thing, it's the quickest thing, and maybe it's the healthiest thing that you think is on the menu. But did you know that most fast food and restaurant chicken nuggets contain things like yeast extract, wheat starch, natural flavoring? Why you got to put some kind of natural flavoring in some chicken nuggets? And of all things, dextrose. That's a form of sugar. Why? So today, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to cook a batch of chicken nuggets. And the beauty of these chicken nuggets is they freeze well. So you can make them up and you can freeze them. And then you can just cook them as needed. You can also cook them and just quickly reheat them. They last a good while in the freezer. So, if school is almost out, okay? If you have kids or grandkids or whomever, even yourself, I like chicken nuggets. So even yourself, you can make up a good batch of them, pop them in the freezer, and it's no different than if you went to the grocery store and bought a frozen bag. So I have a few ingredients here, and most of these ingredients I am sure you have in your pantry. So I'm going to bring you up closer so we can go ahead and get started. Of course, you'll need some chicken breast. And guess what? You can do this with ground turkey. So this is just some ground chicken that we have here. I've got some breadcrumbs. Panko breadcrumbs work the very best. I didn't have any, so I'm just going with regular breadcrumbs. I've got some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, a couple of eggs, and of course, I'm going to put in some of my Pam's Prep all-purpose seasoning. So first thing we need to do is make up our mixture that we'll need for the chicken nuggets. So I'm going to set some of this stuff aside and I'll be right back. So the first thing we're going to do is separate our eggs. We will be using the whole egg, but in different parts of the recipe. And the full recipe, ingredients, measurements will be on my website, pamspreps.com. So the first thing we want to do is separate our eggs. Okay, now that our eggs are separated, we are going to put our eggs in another dish and lightly beaten them. Okay, we're going to set our egg yolks to the side for now. And to our egg whites, we're adding some paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, some of my Pam's Prep all-purpose seasoning. You can use no salt, and you can use fiery hot if you want a little heat in your chicken nuggets. Go ahead and whisk this together. You want to make sure it's whisked really, really well so that it'll be nice and smooth. Okay, once it is well combined, it should look something like this. We're going to set this aside. Now I'm going to be using my food processor for the next part. If you do not have a food processor, you can just simply do this by hand. I would suggest using some gloves because we're going to be making this into a paste. So if you are using your hands, you're going to have to really work at it for a little bit until it turns into almost a paste form. So I am just putting the chicken in here. Now I'm adding some salt and black pepper. And the 2 egg yolks. We're adding the egg yolks into this because the chicken is very, very lean. So to add and incorporate some moisture, we are using the egg yolks. Now, if you're using a food processor, you want to blend this or process this until it's pretty much in a paste form. Okay. And this is what it needs to look like when it's all processed. Or if you're doing it by hand, this is what it should look like. So we have our little setup station here. I actually have some water here. You will need water for your hands. Otherwise, this chicken is now very, very sticky. I know a lot of you will want to wear gloves. You can, but I'm telling you, it's going to stick to the gloves. And even when you put water on it, it's going to stick to the gloves. The best thing to do is use your hands. Just make sure they are absolutely 100% clean, okay? And you'll need a baking tray lined with parchment paper. That's what we'll be putting them on, okay? Let me set this over here to the side. And I like to use my little cookie scooper just for evenness so that I won't have one huge one and then one small one, okay? I also kind of like to dip that in water. It helps it as well, but make sure you shake off any excess, okay? So we are just going to start to form our patties. Now, occasionally you might need to give your egg wash a stir. It's been sitting for a while, so you can give it a stir. Your breadcrumb should be just fine. So we just want to get us a scoop here. And they don't have to be perfect in size or anything else. Let me wet my hands here. You can make them any shape you want, and they don't have to be perfect. I mean, when we buy chicken nuggets, they're not perfect, but we want them to be very close in whatever shape you want, okay? So now we want to put it down in your egg and seasoning mixture. Make sure they're well coated all over. And then from there into your breadcrumbs, okay? Now, you may need to find that you're going to have to wash your hands several times during this process, only because you'll have breadcrumbs all over them, okay? And press down the breadcrumbs so that they'll stick. Then put them on your parchment paper, just like that. And I'm just rinsing my hands over here, and then occasionally I will change the water, okay? Now get another one. Give it a good shape. Into your egg mixture. Breadcrumbs. Pressing down. And onto the tray. And we're going to repeat this process until all your chicken nuggets are made. Okay, this is pretty much what they should look like. They can be in any shape or form. Now, these need to go in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. So we'll be back. Okay, so we have been chilling these for about 30 minutes. Preheat your air fryer to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to flip them halfway through, and they should probably need to cook about 10 minutes. That's going to depend on your air fryer, the size, all of that. But do not crowd your air fryer. You're going to have to work in batches so that they won't overlap. Now, we're going to go on top of here and just spray them with a little spray oil, okay? I also like to put these back in the refrigerator while the first batch is actually cooking. So you just want to lay them in here. Like I said, don't overcrowd it, but however many your air fryer will hold. So I actually am able to get 8 at a time in mine. So we're going to cook these for about 10 minutes. At the 5-minute mark, we'll come in and we'll flip them over. We are at the halfway mark. They are looking good. We are going to flip them over. And when you flip them over, you're going to need to spray them again, okay? So let's go ahead and get these flipped. 5 more minutes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Don't they look amazing? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Nice and crispy. Now I like to sit mine in a nice little basket. I just like the way it looks. You can put yours on a paper plate or a plate or anything that you want to put it on, okay? Now, this is the first batch. As I said, we must work in batches. So go ahead and put your next set in. Spray. Don't forget to spray. That's what helps with the crispiness, all right? So again, 10 minutes. We'll be back to turn these over. Ooh, we are all done. Oh my goodness. Look, y'all. Look how nice and crispy these are. Ooh wee. Look at that. Oh my goodness. These look amazingly delicious. I want y'all to see the inside. Look at that. Ooh, it's still hot. You can see the steam. They look, taste, and feel just like all the other ones. Okay. They are amazingly delicious, and this is just barbecue sauce, so I didn't do anything fancy or make anything without you all, okay? Oh my goodness. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today here in my kitchen. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you are not subscribed, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 1.5 million subscribers. My returning subscribers, thank you so much for keep coming back and hanging out with me here in my kitchen. And channel members, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Don't forget to check out my other channels, Pam's POV, where I do other tips, tricks, hacks, and life information. Pam's Pop-Ups, where I go live, maybe cooking, maybe in the garden, who knows? And at the Scaredy Cat Gardener, all on YouTube. Okay, we've got to do our taste test. Oh my goodness. This one already fell in the sauce. So we're just gonna have that piece. Oh my goodness. Crispy. Can y'all hear the crispiness? Kid friendly. You can even let them help. They can put them together. They can mix the stuff. They can work with it. Kid friendly, adult approved. Oh my goodness, without all the additives that we talked about in the beginning. The dextrose, which is sugar, yeast extract, the wheat starch, and natural flavoring. Why do you need that in a chicken nugget? If you know why you need it in there, let me know in the comments, okay? And I will see you all next time. The good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.